Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. I've kind of cranked the exposure because it's dark back here, but when I'm close, it's bright. So if you're wondering why that's going on, it's raining outside, but it's kind of bright, and you don't care. Anyway, this video is going to be about the Diamondback cover. Actually, it's going to be kind of a weird one. I was in here a couple weeks ago, kind of waxing romantic, waxing poetic about trucks, truck builds, the YouTube channel, and kind of what I've had on them. And I realized that I've been running a Diamondback on one truck or another for like 9 years now. So the first Diamondback I bought so long ago for the OG Tacoma, it was one of the first things I added to that truck. It was basically a stock truck with the Diamondback cover on it. And so this video, I just felt like Diamondback didn't ask for this video. They're not paying me to make this video or anything. They are a partner of the channel. I'll probably talk about that too, as I'm, again, just getting emotional about the last 9-year journey, really. But I wanted to talk about the Diamondback in some ways because I'm planning out the build of a new truck. If you watched the fleet video that I posted a couple videos back, you will probably know. That video received a lot of comments in favor of this notion of dialing my fleet back a little bit and getting a new truck that is going to just be a purpose-built, big beast truck. And so anyways, I was kind of planning the build of that, and I was like, should I Diamondback it? Should I not? I don't know. I do know I'm going to Diamondback it, spoiler alert. And that's actually because of how versatile this thing is. So I don't know how to structure this video necessarily. I'll put chapters down below. I'm just going to talk a bit, and I'll show some stuff as well. For those that are interested, I'm going to talk about kind of my relationship, my history with Diamondback, because I think it's interesting, and I like it, and I want to talk about it. And then I'm going to talk about the cover and why it is the right pick for me still after 9 years on the daily. And it has so much more than it's. Some people are like, oh yeah, well, Diamondback's the sponsor of the channel, that's why you're running it. Yeah, I'm not like, I know you're not dumb and I'm not dumb. That certainly plays a role, but I can get different sponsors. There's the people in the truck world, they want to sponsor people making truck content. I could put anything on a truck. I could replace Diamondback if I wanted to. It's not a big deal. But the reason I'm choosing to run a Diamondback still, I'm going to get into in this video. So that's what you can kind of look forward to in the video. I think it's a good, this is a video that actually interests me. I think I've said that kind of. I'm also sick. Quick life update. I'm sick. My whole family is sick. My son got really sick. We had to take him to the ER. He had real low oxygen, having a hard time breathing. Spent a couple days in the pediatric ICU. Then he graduated out of there, and we spent a couple more days just in the regular hospital while he was on oxygen, like full scuba mask, and then kind of weaned off. Now we're back home. So I am sick. I'm sure I sound sick. I'm sorry. I know it's not as nice to listen to, but I'm sick. And I'm dehydrated, probably. I'm gonna talk about our sponsor as well because I want to drink some now. So I'm just gonna jump straight to the sponsorship because I want to drink some LMNT now because I am parched and mouth breathing. So let's talk about them from this weird angle that makes me look 3 feet tall. LMNT, here, they actually just launched this new flavor, which is my favorite. It's lemonade salt. So LMNT, if you haven't heard of them, they are a hydration kind of electrolyte replenishment drink powder. I'm actually making it right here, the lemonade, and I love it. They've sponsored a few videos now. Huge shout out to them. Stuff was developed by a guy named Rob Wolf, a research biochemist. It is used by every top tier human specimen on the planet. Olympians, Navy SEALs, professional athletes, and losers like myself as well. The general idea is drinking water alone doesn't actually necessarily keep you hydrated if you're lacking in minerals. LMNT puts all those minerals in the right balances together for an easy and tasty, if you like salt, I do, drink. No sugar, doesn't break a fast, keto friendly, packs easy. You can take them on the go, mix them with whatever. They even have some hot flavors. Actually, it's cold. It snowed yesterday here in Colorado, so I had hot chocolate for the first time in a while. And I like mixing in the chocolate caramel LMNT packets into hot chocolate for like a salted hot chocolate deliciousness. And all that to say, the general gist is you probably need more salt than the kind of commonly recommended amount if you're into all of that research. LMNT's blog has a lot of information. I spent hours on that blog. I love information, learning more, and now I'm staying salty with LMNT. So huge shout out to LMNT for sponsoring another video. You can go to drinklmnt.com/LLD and you'll get this free sampler pack, not with your first order, with every order from that. So just do that every time you want to restock on LMNT and get it. Stay hydrated. I'm going down to Overland Expo West. I'm going to try and bring some of these. So if you're down there in Flagstaff and you want to try some, you've never tried some, you want to try some, hopefully I'll have some. I mean, catch me early. I don't know how much I'll have, but I'll have some on hand to hand out to you. So thanks to LMNT sponsoring this video. I am going to chug most of this so I can get hydrated for the rest of the video. So let's go back in time. Maybe I'll throw some photos up on the screen if I can find them. But in 2016 Tacoma, added a Diamondback, so sick. I didn't even have a rooftop tent at the time. Like I was into the outdoors and I like camping and whatnot, but I didn't even have a rooftop tent. And I probably didn't even know about rooftop tents. To be honest, I just wanted secure storage to get my guns to the range and back, and I thought they looked awesome and I could jump on them. Sick. Got into kind of overlanding, got into the idea of rooftop tents, stuff like that, and was like, how could I put one on a Diamondback? At the time, there weren't really any rack options for the cover. Now there are a ton, actually. Some may say I was on the forefront of that. I was what's the term? Innovator in that. So I don't know. I think I was, but I wasn't the first, certainly. But there wasn't really anything out there. So I bought some like van racks and just bolted them straight to the cover and mounted a tent right on it. And I was dicking around with all kinds of stuff, using the Diamondback since day one in like a non-standard way. I was bolting high lift jacks to these extended these bolts. They lined up well with the high lift jack, and I put like little wing nuts and I just mounted them straight to the side, and axes and shovels and max tracks, and I did all kinds of stuff. One of the first ladder racks I got that I just bolted straight to the cover was kind of flimsy. I broke it. Catastrophic failure. My tent fell off, fortunately fell off right onto the cover. Whatever, ratchet strapped it down, finished the trail. There was a guy in the forums, I forget your name. I don't know if you watch my videos anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but he had kind of made a front runner channeled rack system work on a Diamondback. And I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. I'm gonna do that as well. Got all the parts for that, used a front runner rack system, thought it was a pretty slick option, worked with Diamondback and Frontrunner to actually make that a product. So that's a product that you can actually just buy from diamondbackcovers.com right now. That all spawned from me seeing a guy do it in a forum, to me saying this is cool, to me saying, hey, we should make this a product, and we did. And Diamondback and I have been partnered in some way or another for many years, since I first fell in love with the cover back on the 2016 Tacoma. I've had several covers on several trucks, and I've used them in a bunch of weird ways. In the standard way, like this is more of a standard setup. It's on my kind of daily driver. I have a cross bin up here, one of my favorite features of the truck. I'll kind of show you all this stuff in a second. I'll show you it now. So the cross bin up front, one of the claim to fames of the Diamondback HD. Now they have several models. They have a 180 and a 270 and panels open in all kinds of different ways like butterflies. I've pretty much used the HD primarily. I did try out the switchback, which is kind of the trifold. So if you're towing with a gooseneck or something, that might be a good option. But I think the Diamondback is the best for me. So up here, I don't know if you can even see, but I have a cross bin with a bunch of gear across the top. So that way I can get out of the truck, come back here, access some gear that's kind of heavier or dirtier or whatever, maybe stuff that I don't want in the cab or doesn't fit in the cab. But I don't just want it in a bin just kind of bouncing around in the back. So I can put it in this cross bin. And the beauty of the cross bin, especially this one, this is the 4T, is that up there you can see that little aluminum part. It's just up there hanging out, and the whole rest of the bed is usable. There's, I believe, 50 inches between those two boxes up here. So you can load it almost to the top with sheet goods, you know, 4 foot by 8 foot sheet goods. Load them all the way to the back, and you're just like kind of utilizing wasted space up there. This setup also, if I need to haul lumber or whatever, I can pop this back. I'll usually undo one of the struts, so this just rests on stuff that's heading out. I've put stuff on the roof racks that like the roof rack comes back, and then I pop this up and I put a little board under it, and I use this as like a tall bed roof rack. So I'm carrying like 12, 16 foot long things, and I'm using this as the back rack for it. That's a fun one. It's Diamondback says maybe I shouldn't do that, but I do it anyway. And I like it because it's versatile. A lot of times, especially in the Tundra with the full slide down rear glass or any truck that has opening rear glass, you can run 2x4s, 2x8s. I think I've done 2x10s even. Through the back here, I've done molding, 16 foot long molding. So on these racks, through the back window, maybe a little final destination-y there, but make sure you strap it down securely. I've done that. So like, it's super versatile for a daily truck where you're just hauling all kinds of weird stuff. You could park ATVs or golf carts or whatever on top. I've had to go pick up stuff while I was building the house with my other Tundra that had a Diamondback on it. And I would load stuff underneath, and then I would load stuff on this. I think one time I went and picked up my gas fireplace, which was palletized. I don't know, I think 6 or 7 feet long, but I had to pick up all the chimney and everything else with it as well. And it wouldn't have really worked well in just an open bed. I had the bed filled up with crap and then put this like 800-pound pallet right on top of the Diamondback cover, strapped it down, and was good to go. So then a question I get asked or comment comes around sometimes. It's like, well, you can't use your truck like a truck, which I kind of beg to differ. I use the truck like a truck for a lot of things, but I think the main thing people are talking about that, well, doesn't really apply to me. Maybe you're towing a gooseneck or something. They do have a cover that accommodates the trifold. It's the switchback that accommodates gooseneck trailers, but I don't tow a gooseneck. The other thing is when you need to put something really big in your truck, which really the reason I made this video is because I'm going to pick up something big at Sam's Club, actually, a play set, swing set, slide thing that my wife needs. We need for the kids, right? Anyway, the dimensions online, it comes on a pallet, and it's 96 inches long, so it'll hang out a little bit on my little 5.5 foot bed, and it's like 52 inches tall, so too big to fit inside of a cap or something like the GFC over here, and then 48 inches wide. So that obviously won't fit in the Diamondback, but if I had another type of cover that like retracts or something that takes up like a foot in the front, the 96 inches would also be a foot further back. I want to shove it all the way to the front. So there, again, with any system, there's going to be pros and cons. The Diamondback I like because in just a couple of minutes, I can remove the whole system.
So I'm gonna show you how that works because I've had questions about it. It can be done with one person pretty easily. Two people, or like a forklift or something, or a hoist, you could do it even faster because you can leave all of the panels kind of connected and just lift it off as one unit. But I'm gonna do it the one person, kind of the easiest way as far as manpower, which is you got your rear panel and your front panel and then the middle section that holds it all together. These two panels here are just held in by this locking mechanism and then this hinge. So the hinge is a quick detachable mechanism that I'll show you in a second. So basically I'll pull the rear panel off, I'll pull the front panel off, and then there are just 4 bolts that clamp the middle section on, and then I take it off. It's not like the fastest and the absolute easiest thing, but you need one tool and you need one person. And if you're taking your time and you're not rushing, 10 minutes. You could probably do it in 5 minutes if you were like, you know, really motivated. So I'll show that real quick. I won't show the whole 5-10 minute process. I'll just show the key points. So then it's the gas strut here. These have this little kind of cam tab thing that you flip open and then you can just pull that off. So you want to push up a little bit on the cover to alleviate the pressure. Once that's open though, it'll just pop off. And this is where technically you could remove it as one piece, but not really with one person. So then these hinges, once you get them to, I believe it's like 90 degrees, you'll be able to just slide them out the side, and then you can remove the panel just like that. So the hinge, if you can tell, is designed to where it can slide out from one side, and it's super quick. You do the same with the front panel. And then all that's left are those 2 clamps on each side, 4 total. Then you just need a 14 millimeter. And then you just lift the middle section off like so. And then if you do have a cross pin in here, you can just pull that out now. It's actually the heaviest part, just because I got it loaded with a bunch of stuff. And so 5 minutes later, you got an open bed. So really pretty simple overall, just factory rails on top. Depending on your model, you may have a gasket or an extra piece or something up here, but Tundra, just like that. Now ready to go pick up some crap. Facebook Marketplace haul number 2. Got some big boys, a little super single setup. Best Facebook Marketplace find of the year. Actually, Bowen Customs was selling this, and then some old takeoffs from a Transit that I'm gonna see if I can use in the old busaroo. So taking it off, pretty easy. Putting it on, just do that in reverse, pretty easy as well. One person and a few minutes and literally one tool and you are in business. So I thought about this aspect of it when I was thinking of building the big do everything truck. I was like, I don't want to leave it open. So let's talk open beds. Like, why don't you just keep the bed open? I love the crosspin. Now I could use a toolbox, right? Like I could do no Diamondback and a toolbox. But the toolbox doesn't come out quite as easy. It eats up a little more room in there. And I don't know. I don't want people to think I'm a contractor or anything. I don't know. But the toolbox would almost get me there. But it wouldn't get me there because the truck, by nature, has a cab and is different than an SUV, obviously, in that it doesn't have an enclosed place to put stuff. So a big part of my daily life is going and buying things. And I'm not usually just I live in the mountains. So when I go and buy things, usually I'm combining a few errands into one trip. Maybe I'm doing a Home Depot trip, but also doing a Costco trip, and then going and pick whatever it is I'm doing. Maybe I'm gonna go golfing, but after golfing, I'm gonna go to the grocery store or whatever. So secure, lockable, out of the weather storage. Like I can't actually imagine not having it. When I had the cover off for a bit, when I was doing all of the other stuff,
I had to go to Costco, and it was raining outside. And I was like, I guess I can't drive the truck because I don't have the Diamondback on it. And we're kind of in a hurry, so I don't feel like putting the Diamondback cover back on it. So I guess we'll take the Sequoia, where I would have taken my truck normally, but it was just an open bed, like a loser with an open bed. So I didn't do it, and I was just like, man, I gotta get that cover back on. So I did. I put it back on, and we're back in business now. So anyway, when I was thinking about the do it all, do everything truck, I was like, okay, this is like an opportunity. It's a new build. It's a new opportunity to do something, maybe do something different. So I was like, maybe I want maybe a bed slide, but I was like, a bed slide doesn't really make sense for me. They're not super easy to get out. They eat up space. So I was like, not a bed slide, or like a deck drawer system. I was like, nah, there's not that much crap that I just want in drawers all the time. Like those would make sense maybe if I was, I don't know, a plumber, and I just had enough gear to fill up 2 drawers just all the time that I wanted on, like in drawers, eating up bed space all the time. I think they're cool. Doesn't work for me. And I was like, all right, maybe a cap, maybe an 8-foot cap. Whole family could sleep back there. 8-foot cap. But then I was like, nah, man, this truck got a ton of payload. Maybe I do want to pick up some boulders or some rock or whatever. Then I got to take an 8-foot cap off the truck. How do I even do it? So I was like, just trying to theory craft a different setup on the big truck. And I was like, Diamondback is the move. Diamondback after 9 years, completely different truck. My life has changed so much from 9 years ago. I was just a single dude shooting guns in the woods. Now I'm into all kinds of different things, building a homestead, family, kids. And the one constant has been the Diamondback. It's kind of crazy, the Diamondback. So anyway, I really kind of wanted to try out something different on the new truck, but nah. Diamondback is just the thing because of how I use trucks and how I build them out. Now, what's in the truck itself, what I'm going to keep in the bed, like that all has changed. That all has shifted. How I use it and what I keep in it and how I build it, that's all changed. But the Diamondback's been super modular with it. So it's been just an interesting revelation when I'm at this point 9 years later where I'm like, I could do anything. I have all the relationships in the world. I could put anything I want on the bed of my truck. I'm building the truck that I've always wanted. I was even thinking about flatbedding it. I think flatbeds look so sick. Always wanted. One day I think I'll still have a flatbed, but for now I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Truck bed, enclosed, weatherproof, sealed, big storage. Diamond put stuff on top still. It makes sense. It's still. I think they look sick. Makes sense. So anyway, that's been my journey that I've been going through in my mind over the last couple of weeks, but also the journey of my last 9 years of my life as it pertains to the Diamondback cover. So it's kind of been an interesting, and maybe I'm just sick, but it's been an interesting, just thinking about it, it's been kind of interesting. When I could change anything and do anything, I'm still going to do the Diamondback because of kind of everything I talked about in this video. So let's talk about, I was going to talk about this earlier, I guess, but, got sidetracked. I don't have a script for the video or anything. So let's talk about Diamondback as a company. Diamondback, man, through all the years, so my first contact over there was Andy Campbell. Good old Andy Campbell. Still friends with him. Became great friends with him. He was at my wedding, Ashley and my wedding, and he's been a great friend through the years, much more than my contact at Diamondback. But I love the guy, and through Andy, I've met a lot of the rest of the team there. Now I'm talking to Mark. What's up, Mark? Mark a lot now. Mark and Andy will be the guys that I'm hanging out if you ever see us at like a Diamondback booth at an Overland Expo. Those guys and maybe some of the other crew. But I've met a bunch of the crew, and I just like all the crew. I've met some of the leadership over there and some of the founders, and they're just doing great humanitarian stuff, and they're like-minded and just building stuff in America. And it's just a company that I'm I'm proud. I guess kind of proud and honored, I guess, to be associated with, because they've been great, and everything I know about them's been great. And then the company, the people that have Diamondbacks also love Diamondback. People that have no idea who I am, they don't watch my YouTube video or whatever. I'll just be at a gas station filling up, and they'll see my Diamondback, and maybe they have a Diamondback as well, and they'll be like, "Oh, damn, I love that thing." They're not talking about my wheels or tires or. I mean, sometimes they are. Obviously, people approach me for all kinds of stuff, but more often than not, it's a random Diamondback customer who just wants to talk about how much they love Diamondback, and I'm like, man, that's cool. That's cool, and I'm not like, hey, they got a picture of my truck in their factory or anything like that. I'm just like, oh yeah, they're so sick. I've had them and we just talk about the Diamondback and we'll go on our way. But I have never met or like known of a company that just loves the company and the product as much as Diamondback customers do. And that's awesome. So I'm really stoked that I've been able to have a relationship with Diamondback for so many years. And again, like I talked about earlier, I have the ability to do anything and run anything and do whatever I want with a truck build. And I do, like at my core, want to keep working with Diamondback because I love Diamondback so much. And it's always, well, if the product's not right, like I don't want to be a shill, right? I don't want to run a product just because I should be running the product because they're a sponsor or whatever. I always want to genuinely, I never work with a company or a brand or show a product or anything that I genuinely just don't like and that doesn't just work for me. So anyway, felt like making a video about it because some of you guys, this is more for people that are fans of the channel or what I do or whatever. I thought it would be a nice little conversational video to have, but also a reinforcement of, man, after 9 years, after everything I've been through and learned and done, all the products I've tested, going to events and SEMAs and expos and dealing with this and that and running all kinds of different stuff. Like, if I could choose anything to put on a new truck, what would it be? Still a Diamondback. Wild. Obviously, if you have specific needs or you need a flatbed or a cap makes sense for you or what, like, you don't have to run a Diamondback. I'm not telling everyone should run a Diamondback. But for me, like, evaluating everything, how I use a truck, especially kind of like, if it was a dedicated, like I have the Tundra back here with a GFC on it. It doesn't have a Diamondback on it. It has a GFC. But I couldn't have a GFC if I just had one truck. It was my only truck. It couldn't be a GFC, actually. So like my one kind of do everything truck, if it could be anything. Interesting that it's still a Diamondback. I thought it was interesting anyway. Like I really tried hard to think of something else to do, but 9 years later, still a Diamondback. Just works with the weird ways that I use a truck, the weird ways that I want to haul stuff, my desire to not waste any time hooking up a trailer, going and renting one. Sometimes it's sketchy, but haven't had a failure yet. So wish me luck for the rest of my long days of hauling weird things in weird ways on top of the Diamondback. And then, sorry, I tried to go find my Freedom Tremor hat and couldn't find it. I have too many hats. Don't know where my Freedom Tremor hat is. And then Diamondback, we did this project. This was what? Was it 2020? This was like 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. We did the Freedom Tremor project, which is one of my life's greatest achievements, probably, if I think about it. I don't know about achievement, but one of the best things that I've been a part of. If you don't know about it, I had this idea, and I was like, who do I know? I can't do this by myself. Who do I know that could help me achieve this thing? And basically I wanted to raise money and awareness to fight human trafficking, to fight sex slavery. Even talking about it in this video would probably get flagged and screw things up for me again. But I've had a heart for it for a long time. I talk about it in some old videos. If you're more interested in this stuff, you can go watch some of these old videos where I talk about it. But the Freedom Tremor project, I wanted to partner with someone to build a dope truck because I like building cool trucks, and then raffle it off and give a bunch of money to a charity. A21 was the charity we ended up choosing that does a great job raising awareness and actually doing meaningful stuff to combat human trafficking and help rehabilitate and get people out of slavery and save them. So anyway, all that to say, Diamondback took the reins and said, we will be the muscle behind this project. And they spent a ton of money and time navigating all of the waters of figuring all that stuff out and doing the kind of raffling. There's so much stuff. I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. Even my involvement, which was minuscule compared to what Diamondback did, exhausted me to my core. Now, Diamondback, again, didn't make a buck off of that, spent a lot of money on it. I didn't make a buck off of it, spent a little bit of money, but a lot of time and a lot of emotions. And we got some build partners on board, and it was a great project. In general, we raised $200,000 and got millions of impressions. In the process, got my channel shadow banned, probably in depth, probably still. It was, my channel has never recovered from that. This is a woe is me, a little bit of complaining, a little bit of why is the system corrupt. But some of those videos got flagged when I was doing it. My views tanked, my subscribers tanked. Ever since the Freedom Tremor project, it was one of the best things I've done. But in the world of YouTube, I didn't know it at the time, but it was the worst thing that I could have done for my channel. By every metric that I can measure, that had a lasting negative impact on my channel, which is a bummer. It was really, everything else about it was so positive. And I think other people knew, because some of the other partners didn't want to get on board. I had some contacts at Ford, kind of pitched the project to them, hoping they would donate a truck for it. Couldn't get a truck donated for it. So Diamondback bought the truck for that. It was the F-250 Tremor, maybe my favorite truck to date. That truck still lives in my dreams, and you'll find out more recently, or if you watched the recent fleet video like I mentioned earlier, maybe I'm back on the Ford team. Anyway, Diamondback, that was meaningful to me, that they said, you know what, we wouldn't, like, sex trafficking an issue, for sure. As an organization, a lot of people don't talk about it. You can't run ads for it. It's a weird thing. People don't want to be involved with it. And I was like, screw them. Why is it? And they were like, you know what? That is everything we stand for. Like, fighting for those that fighting for those that nobody's fighting for. They're not talked about. It's whatever. They said, Mike, we love you. We love the idea. We're going to do it. And that, like I said, that was meaningful to me and impactful. And it just meant a lot. And I still think about that to this day. So anyway, Diamondback, I love them for that as well. Sorry, I don't know if I'm going to transition back into the rest of the video, but I wanted to splice this in because I wanted to wear my Freedom Tremor hat. Anyway, back to talking about the rest of things. Cool. All right, well, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. I do have some announcements coming soon about fleet, about selling some vehicles. So if you're in the market, you're going to want to watch the next couple of videos. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take care.